What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I am finally alive again after getting coronavirus. Man, that thing kicked my freaking ass. I'm so happy to be out of bed. I spent literally like 7 days in bed and it just killed me. So as you can probably hear, I'm still not the best, but I am better. And I'm very thankful for that. But today, very exciting. I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent from the videos I was going to film because my friend Jordan is here.
Yes, sir. We're here.
How we doing?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, even better because you know what we're doing?
We're going to tune my E36.
And finish it. So, turbo M43 E36. We've kind of kept this one quiet. Jordan's been working away on it in the background. But pretty much the plan was Jordan kind of wanted to throw it all together and then we wanted to film it on the channel and kind of break this whole build down for you guys and show you guys how to turbo your M43 or your M40 or your M42. It's kind of the same concept throughout. We're literally, so this thing is going to be his car for Winter Matsuri that's coming up. Matsuri is a 2-day drift event. Super excited about it. And Jordan's driving this car, but it just didn't have quite enough power. So he decided to whip a turbo onto this thing. And we're not tuning it via the ECU. We're doing a fuel pressure regulator tune and we'll tune it via the airflow meter. Going to be running about 10 pound a boost. But you've done real well.
Yeah, so it didn't take as short as I thought it would take to make it.
Well, that's because you've done it properly.
Yeah, so I made it myself as well, so it took a lot longer than I thought. If you get someone to make it, it'll be a lot easier. Yeah. But it was so simple to use. Yeah. Literally the most simple thing I've done.
You've done good. So you will find the links to some of the stuff in the description. Max Speeding Rod's intercooler and intercooler kit. Funnily enough, it's the exact same one that we used on the Fevo over here. So jump in the description if you want to buy one of those. Use our code as well to grab it cheaper. But we've also got, you know, a nice China wastegate going on here. We've got a China T28 turbo going on here. And as it sits, this thing does run, does drive, but it really needs some heat management going on because we've got a couple of things close to the J-pipe. So this is actually a J-pipe here that comes up from the stock exhaust manifold. It's a really simple setup. Comes up around the back here, obviously see a V-band here to this link pipe. And then dump pipe goes down here because we've got a steering shaft to deal with because this is a right-hand drive car. Really simple setup, and then we've deleted a bunch of stuff on the intake manifold. We are taking the inlet manifold apart today anyway. Yes. So and we're going to be putting a Wellbro 255 fuel pump in and doing a bunch of stuff to get this thing. We're putting M50B20 injectors in as well because I've got a set of those just to give it a bit more fuel flow. We're putting a rising rate fuel pressure regulator in it, and then we're going to dial in some fuel. If we can, and I'm not saying we will be able to, we may be able to put it onto the dyno at Springy Performance, but we're going to kind of see if we can work that out. If not, we're going to have to do a butt dyno thing and kind of see how it goes. But for the most part, should be right.
Scary, that one.
Yeah, so first things first, we're going to pull it all apart. Yeah. Let's go. Alright, so I'm going to jump in here and give you guys a complete list of everything that you need to turbo your M40, M43, M42, whatever. So, number one, you're going to need a turbo manifold. So if you J-pipe it off the stock manifold just like this, that's fine. But you're going to need some type of turbo manifold. You don't have to run an external wastegate. You can have internally wastegated turbo. But number two, you're going to need a turbo. Alright? So manifold, a turbo, okay? You're going to need oil lines. So an oil send and an oil return. Water lines aren't completely necessary. You can run them if you like. You don't have to. Oil send, oil return. So oil lines. That's going to oil your turbo up, make sure it's happy. Number three, you need an intercooler. These are so cheap these days. I think this whole kit costs like $150 for Max Speeding Rods. So this is all in the description for you guys to check out, okay? Just quickly going back to the turbo should be the correct size for your motor. I keep seeing people put giant turbos on these motors and then complain because it doesn't really work very well. That's because your turbo is far too big for your motor. It's going to be really laggy. So this T25, although it may make a little less power than your giant turbo, it's actually going to be usable power for when you're on the track or when you're on the street because it's nice and responsive. So T25 for an M43 is absolutely perfect, okay? Number three, you're going to need a fuel pressure regulator so that you can dial in your fuel. Make sure that the car is all happy and safe under boost. And number four, get some injectors that are slightly bigger than your stock injectors. And that is pretty much all you need to turbo your car. And then obviously fitting it all.
Simple, yeah. So if you want to do the oil drain and oil feed, just drill a hole in the sump, somewhere higher than the highest point you can get. Don't drill the block because it's the block. And yeah, just drill the sump.
Always into the sump. Yeah,
always into the sump. And the oil feed, usually most engines have like an oil pressure switch so you can see low oil pressure on the dash. Yep. I've put a T-piece down there into the back of mine and then just ran a fitting so you can run the line out of that, and that's oil pressure, so that's oil feed. And yeah, pretty simple.
It is simple, like turbo setups are simple. This setup, I'm explaining to you guys, doesn't include the ECU because we're using the stock ECU for the tune. Once you start going over pretty much 10 pounds, you need an aftermarket ECU, and that becomes a lot more expensive and whatnot. Oh, and of course, sorry, the last thing you need is some kind of, you can either go to your stock exhaust, or you need an exhaust obviously. So off the dump pipe, the turbo, down the back of the car. Jordan did a full custom exhaust on this thing.
Literally pick up the keys to a welder and just start welding stuff.
That's what I also would recommend. I've got my gas MIG set up right here. That's a Unimig setup. I paid $450 for this whole setup, and it allows me to weld everything. So, and that's just gonna A, save you time and money. Well, mostly money, but also B, it's gonna show you a nice new skill.
Yeah, like you can tell I started down here, worked my way forward,
and your welds got better and better and better.
Worse, better, 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 and then one of the last ones was here, and
nice.
Yeah.
So good. Turbo, yeah. So what we have here is the fuel rail, but we've swapped the old injectors out, which are these ones here. So they're 162cc, these ones. We've swapped these out to these M43 B25 ones. These are 180cc, so not a huge amount bigger, but just enough bigger that we're not going to blow the motor up, and we've got a little bit of room to play when it comes to fueling, which is rad. So they fit straight into the rail, which is nice. We just had to swap the O-rings from the injectors on these ones to the B25 ones because they were slightly bigger, and these also have a better spray pattern as well because they got the 4-point spray pattern, which is, these are like some old ass technology. So
yeah. Alrighty, put these in.
That's literally that sorted. We will probably delete the fuel pressure regulator out of that rail because we're putting a rising rate one in, and also the inlet manifold. Obviously, as you saw, we took it off. And we've deleted the idle air control valve because these are basically just a big vacuum leak. So they're fine obviously when you're NA because you only have vacuum, but when you're boosted, basically, and this was actually already leaking massively on idle anyway.
There's a big crack there.
There's a big crack right here, so it's just terrible. So deleting that, blocking it off, basically not giving any chances to the inlet manifold to have any type of vacuum leaks, and then we'll throw that all back together with all the injectors in, and that is that done. And then we need to race down to Autobarn, grab a fuel pressure regulator, some spark plugs, and put the Walbro 255 fuel pump in as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we're making some pretty good progress with this turbo M43. So I have just gone ahead and replaced the stock fuel pump with a Walbro 255 fuel pump, just in the same cradle. Wired it in nicely. That's just going to give us all of the volume of fuel that we need when we're up in boost, especially because the old fuel pump's probably 30 years old. No good. So yeah, these are pretty inexpensive fuel pumps. Walbro 255 should be enough for the setup to kind of get it boogieing. While I've done that, Jordan's gone ahead and put the fuel rail back in the car. We ended up welding the front of the fuel rail up and deleting the fuel pressure regulator, which usually goes right here. Because we've got our aftermarket fuel pressure regulator, which is right here. So I'm going to go ahead, throw this back in its hole, and we should be well on our way to this thing making all the right noises and doing all the right things when we put our foot on the accelerator. Isn't that right, Jordan?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't get a haircut, mate. You look great.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers. There you go, nailed it.
Fucking primo.
There was a wee pinhole. Leak.
We're good.
So we just didn't want to pull the rail off, so we welded it on the car.
Yeah. Make sure you disconnect your battery, but otherwise you'll fry everything.
Yeah, always disconnect your battery. Love the Link ECU though, seriously. That's nice.
And you clear coat that so it doesn't come off.
Awesome. So inlet manifold, we just got to buzz that down. Then we've got our fuel pressure rig just sitting here at the moment. We just want to make sure that there's no leaks or anything. We can mount that properly soon. Make sure the car runs as it should with the Walbro 255 in the car. and everything good to go, and then we'll keep moving on. It's so fun doing this because we literally started this channel with a M40 turbo build, supercharged M40 and then turbo M40, so it's nice to take it back to the roots, you know? It's good fun. For some reason, stuff like this G's me up way more than all the big car like builds and stuff, which is so funny. Alright, everything is back together and ready to run. Kinda back together and ready to run, but it's late and we've had enough. We want to go bowling and eat food and burgers and stuff, so we're going to see you guys in the morning when it's daylight and we can actually take this thing for a drive and start testing it and stuff. So plus Jordan's defeated for now.
I'm defeated. I'm tired.
So am I. I have limited energy as it is, so we're going to see you guys in the morning. Okay, bye.
Bye.
See you later, mate. Thanks, bye. Woo! It's another day. Another beautiful day because we're back working on the E36 compact turbo M43 car. So again, as you can see, we have the car apart. We decided to pull the rocker cover off because we're giving it a dose of wrinkle red so that it matches the Fivo, which is going to be sick. We'll put brand new BKR7E spark plugs in. These are the spark plugs that you guys need if you are turboing your car. BKR7E NGK spark plugs. Gap them down. I think we're gapping them down to like 0.28. And then after that, we're going to put the fuel system and the rocker cover inlet manifold all back together for the final time. And that should be us pretty much done for the turbo setup, which is awesome. Jordan is going to heat wrap some of the stuff, but it's not completely necessary. Everything's quite nicely out of the way with this setup, so it's not too bad. But once that's all done, we've got our B25 injectors and stuff in. We can start kind of running it up, taking it for a street tune, seeing how it is, and then in part 2 of this video, we're taking the car to the dyno and we're going to see the numbers that this thing makes. So you guys are going to have to hit that like and subscribe button if you guys want to see part 2. I mean, you could not subscribe and just come back and see part 2, but what's the point of that when you can, you know, subscribe to the channel. So Jordan is currently heating up the rocker cover that we're about to put the wrinkle red on. The trick to the wrinkle paint is to get heaps of heat into the rocker cover, spray it, and then get the heat gun straight onto the wrinkle red, and it'll wrinkle up really nicely. So we're going to do that right now. So as you can hear behind me, this thing is purring beautifully. So we've got the whole thing back together. The wrinkle red rocker cover looks freaking sick in there. And the whole thing's come together really nicely actually, so seems to be pretty good. So we're going to take it for a first drive now. That's so good. What the hell? It is test drive time, ladies and gentlemen. The time that you've all been waiting for. We've got 20 minutes to make it to the dyno. Woo, look at this thing. Ah, yes! That's so good. Let's go. Let's go, sir. Oh, this is a vibe. This whole thing is a vibe. Test drive number 1, ladies and gentlemen. DTAC air fresheners. You can get them online. Drop the anchor.com.au, droptheanchorclothing.com.au. Alright, here we go.
Oh, I'm nervous.
I'm nervous.
Oh.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hesitant, eh?
Not enough fuel.
Is it not enough?
Yeah.
No way, you reckon? Not enough or too much?
Not enough.
You reckon?
Yeah.
So we're throwing a boost T in, even though we think it might be not enough fuel, but we're going to put the boost T in anyway, just so that we have those adjustments on the fly.
Might need some cable ties to hold that in.
Oh, yep. Oh, it's a bit loose.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, sweet. And then here we're going to wind up the fuel and the fuel pressure rig just to see whether it is that we're either out of fuel or we've got too much fuel. So it's one or the other. I think we've got too much fuel personally coming through, which is because the engine's only seeing 2.5 pound of boost at the moment, from what I can see. So 2.5 pounder boost on stock injectors with stock everything should be more than fine. That's not enough boost to make the engine freak out, so I reckon we're seeing too much fuel at the moment. Alright, drive number 2 with the airflow meter adjusted.
Yes, idle's better.
It's good. And a little bit more fuel pressure added.
The dose!
That's an insane dose.
Oh wow, it's still doing the same thing, it's lagging.
It's like holding back, eh? Yeah, it's got 5 PSI of boost now.
Yeah.
Alright, fuel pressure dialed in.
I need a little bit more fuel pressure, I reckon.
You reckon?
Yeah.
A little bit more.
That's flat foot.
Oh yeah, so you reckon it's running lean.
Yeah, so a little bit more fuel pressure, and then we'll turn the boost up as well.
Alright, sweet. So we're at 60.
Yeah.
60 base.
Yep.
Alright, leave it on for now.
And I'll crank the boost 2 clicks.
2 clicks of boost. This is street tuning, ladies and gentlemen, at its finest. Sounds awesome.
I'll go 3 clicks.
What's that? Sounds great.
I just turned the boost up again. So
Did ya?
Better. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Turning the boost up is an interesting one on the street without dynoing it, but that's fine. Woo!
Oh,
That goes good, huh?
That's half throttle.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't think I have front indicators.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I got the corner lights. Yeah,
Yeah, you do. Oh!
Definitely too much boost. It's running like 11 down.
I was running 11.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's alright.
Watch it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think more fuel maybe. Or less boost.
Well, we got big. I have 440cc injectors, the big ones.
Yeah.
We can put those in.
Hang on, I'll turn the boost back down 2 clicks.
Okay.
And see what.
That's so super easy to install.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see.
Watch
The motor's saying 9 pound.
Yeah.
That's good.
I still think it needs more fuel though. But we can play with that on the dyno.
Yeah, I think we'd have to go bigger injectors then.
Yeah?
Yeah, these, because we can't give it any more fuel pressure.
I'll turn the boost down then.
Yeah, you can play with it on the dyno, bro.
Yeah.
Alright, so test drive was successful. The thing is now frickin' boosting and loving life. It sounds so good.
Yes, sir.
I love it, dude. So now we're taking this to the dyno, but you'll see that in part 2 of the video.
Part 2.
So we're gonna load this up on the trailer and head to the dyno.
Yes, sir.
Get some food on the way because I'm starving. Boom, there you guys go. M43 turbo done. I hope that helps some of you guys out with some of the information. Remember, M52 B25 injectors, Walbro 255 fuel pump, turbo, manifold. Make sure you don't do too big of a turbo. And a fuel pressure regulator. We'll get our fuel pressure regulator dialed into about 75 PSI base pressure of fuel. And then obviously as the boost wraps in, we're in 10 pounder boost, so that'll be 10 pound extra fuel pressure on full boost. About 85 PSI fuel pressure, but this is just a fun wee drift build. It's nothing crazy, so don't jump in the comments and criticize us for not running a proper ECU. We have all the nice drift cars and stuff in here that are running all the proper stuff, but you guys want to see the budget builds, and the budget builds are what really turn us on as automotive builders. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thanks to Jordan. If you want to see like the Inception version of this video, which is Jordan's version, including the full build of everything he made, head to Jordan's YouTube channel. Links in the description. And if you want to see the dyno tune video, tune in. I'll put it up in about 2 days. But until then, much love, guys. Thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Bye. Give us some limiter. That is so good.